Hey, good morning. Morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Movement and Mobility. My name is Henry Byer with Strong for Life. And I got to tell you, it's still snowing here. Not that psyched about it. And I also had a terrible night's sleep. So I'm just a little behind schedule and a little low right now. So just because of that, you know, when you wake up and you haven't had a good night's sleep and you just feel like, oh man, I feel terrible. This camera is a little tilted for some reason and I can't. Yeah, let's see. Does that help? That seems better. All right. So we have about 25 minutes today, and there's this piece of wood here, totally not organized. But let's just begin with. We're just going to jump into arm swings. I want to cover an exercise today called the Turkish Getup, or simply the Getup. And so I just want to move quickly through some warm-up exercises and then start talking about the Getup. And you know, when I made a mistake too with my titles because I didn't put that in there, but oh well. I want to say, before I forget, I want to say thank you to your viewers, Instagram and YouTube and Facebook viewers. Thanks, replay viewers, for catching this later on too. And if you watch more than one of these, I think you'll be able to tell that I'm just like, I'm just not firing 100%. And that's one reason why we do this, is to help get our bodies rolling again. So let's do some arm swings. Feet hip widths apart, toes pointed straight ahead. Arm swings. 3, 4, 5, and then a double knee bend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 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 Double knee bend. And this, so for some reason, my stopwatch didn't start. Okay. Now we have wet noodle arm swings, just twisting side to side, twisting from the hips. Pretty much every athletic movement starts with the hips. So you start this with the hips, then arms are just reacting to the movement of the hips. They're very loose and wet like noodles. Front arm spins up and taps you on this collarbone. The rear arm swings behind and hits you gently, taps you in the kidney area. The heels of each foot lifts after you spin to the left. Your right heel comes up. As you spin to the right, your left heel comes up. That helps protect your knee. Head straight ahead. Head stays, you keep your gaze focused on a single item in front of you and just let your shoulders and things spin around you. All right, awesome. Now, we are going to do, I think for today, we'll do the second arm swing exercise. So their second arm swing exercise is just a little different. Arms come back. As they come up, they go to about 90 degrees like this, elbows bent, hands about eye level. And then all in one fluid motion, you come up onto your toes, extend through your ankles, knees, and hips, and through your shoulders, elbows, and hands. And your hands come out in front of you. It's like a basketball shot, but your hands stay level with your eyes. So it looks like this. And when you drop down into a slightly bent knee position. This is a great exercise for building coordination and learning this hip, like this extension through your joints. So we do 25 of these or so. Always landing in that bent knee position. And almost just a little hold at the full extension. And I don't know what the count is at the moment, but that's good there. All right. Back to arm swings like this. Wet noodle arm swings. As I said, these exercises, a lot of these exercises that I do in here, I've learned from a program called the Great Gamma Protocol. But some of these are, I think, Chinese in origin, and others are Indian in origin. So they have Chinese and Indian names to them. So I just can't say those or remember them, and both actually. So I give them my own names. So there's the wet noodle arm swing exercise. So we're going to quickly move into our sun salutation. This is definitely Indian in origin. And so there's a left and right side. Each side is a rep. And you begin with your feet together, hands in prayer position, your arms drop behind you, and then come up over your head. And you lean back. And as you lean back, you breathe in, and then you fold over at the waist and exhale. Step back with your right foot into a lunge. Breathe in through your nose. Try to keep your shoulders down. Lift your head. Then step back with your left foot into downward dog. Breathe out through your mouth. Breathe out down here. And then come forward onto your stomach. Point your toes. Lift your chest. Similar, like a cobra pose. Breathe in. Then push back into downward dog. Breathe out. Step forward with your left foot. Lift your chest. Breathe in. Step forward with your right foot. Breathe out. And stand up. Okay. That's one rep. And that was on the left side. Excuse me for a second. I do have to. Morning cleaning out the system. Okay, so right side, same thing. The right side though, arms back, overhead. Breathe out as you fold over. Breathe in the lunge, chest up. Step back into downward dog. Breathe out. Come forward onto your stomach. Lift your chest. Breathe in. Push back to the downward dog. Step forward with your right foot. Then chest up. Breathe in. Step forward with your left foot. Breathe out and stand up. So that's 2 reps. 4 more to go. Every time you're opening your chest, you're breathing in. And every time you're folding over, you're breathing out. Okay. Again, left side. Breathe in. Breathe out. Step back to lunge. Chest up, breathe in. Push back into downward dog. Breathe out. Come forward onto your stomach. Point your toes. Lift your chest, breathe in. Push back into downward dog. Breathe out. Left foot forward. Chest up, breathe in. Step forward, right foot, breathe out. Okay, right side. Breathe in, breathe out, step back, left foot. Chest up, breathe in, push back, downward dog, breathe out. Come forward onto your stomach, point your toes. Lift your chest, push back into downward dog, breathe out. Right foot forward, chest up, breathe in. Left foot forward, breathe out. Stand up. 2 more. Okay. Begin left side. Breathe out as you bend over. Left foot, right foot back, sorry. Chest up. Breathe in. Left foot back into downward dog. Breathe out. Come forward onto your stomach. Point your toes. Lift your chest. Breathe in. Keeping your shoulders down here. Push back into downward dog. Breathe out. Left foot forward. Chest up. Breathe in. Right foot forward. Breathe out. There. All right, last one, right side. Breathe. So you fold over, breathe out. Left foot back. Chest up, shoulders down. Breathe in. Right foot back into downward dog. Breathe out. Come forward onto your stomach. Point your toes. Lift your chest. And push back into downward dog. Breathe out. Right foot forward. Chest up. Shoulders down. Breathe in. Left foot forward. Breathe out and stand up. Okay, so what is the time here? Got about 15 minutes. All right. So what we're going to do is we normally would move into Hindu push-ups and Hindu squats and thoracic bridge, but I'm going to just mix it up a little bit and we're going to talk about the Getup. Now, most people will learn the Getup from the lying on the ground position. But for some people who have a hard time getting on the ground, it'd be easier to start the Getup from a standing position and practice these positions, moving from standing to lying down. And then once you're on the ground, reverse it. So the Getup, I will demonstrate the Getup first, and then I will break it down for you. So I need a yoga block. I'm going to do it with my left arm. So the yoga block, you can't see it in the Facebook. Let me step back here. I don't think you'll be able to see it. So your arm is overhead. One arm is overhead. And I use the yoga block because it helps keep my arm in position. If my arm gets too far out of position, then the yoga block falls off. The one thing that's a bit of a challenge with the yoga block is it's hard to really push against the yoga block and get a locked out shoulder. So I get it as locked out as I can. You want a locked out shoulder for this. Okay. So the first thing is you step back into what is the start of a lunge and come down to a kneeling position like this. And then from here, you take this right arm and you reach out to the side, to the right side, in line with your knee. You're trying to create space between your left foot and your right hand and have a straight-ish line between your two hands. And you're looking at the block to make sure that it doesn't fall on your head. But I'm talking you through it, but I'm supposed to be demonstrating it. One of the issues with talking through it is not paying attention. So we're going to start over again. And you can see as soon as my arm got out of position, the block fell off. So that's good. It's a good signal. Okay. Now you sweep the leg through and you come down into a sitting position like this. And then you drop down onto your elbow and then onto your back like that. And then you essentially reverse this process to stand up. And this is where most people start their get up, is on the ground like this. But if you're a person who has difficulty getting onto the ground, then practicing this exercise from the standing position is a good way to get you to be able to get down and then up from the ground by practicing it traditionally, I think it was done from the standing position, and it's just got converted to us starting on your back. So let me do it on the right side without any chatter. So again, we're going to stand up. Okay, so that's the demonstration. So I'll walk you through it and join me in and do as much of it as you can. You don't need a yoga block. If you don't have a yoga block, you could use a shoe or you can do it without. It's fine for learning. You can do it without just body weight, and then you can do this with a shoe. I'll do it with my shoe. I think the shoe is actually, these shoes won't fall off as much. So let's, I use my shoe here. So the first move, just walk, do this with me. So you stand erect, arm overhead, try to lock out that elevated arm as much as possible without the shoulder coming out of your sockets. You want to keep, this is why something light is hard, because it's sort of like to straighten your arm and to hold your arm in its socket it's just a funny feeling. So, but hold your hand overhead like so, then step back. You want to take a fairly large step back because you're dropping into a lunge position here like this. And the more room you have between your back leg and the foot of your front leg, the more space you'll have for sweeping your legs. So now you're in a kneeling position. And if this is all you can do, you could stand back up. And this is a great thing to practice. It's just down into the knee and stand up like that. Now, if you can go a little bit further, sort of windshield wiper your rear leg just a little bit so that you can run your hand down your knee and then reach out as far as you can go so that you get into this kneeling position. Again, this might be all you want to do. And then you can go back to this position and stand up. See, this is a great thing about this exercise is you can break it down into its component parts and just work those. So from here, you do a leg sweep. So you're going to be supporting your body with your, in my case, my right arm and my left foot. And then you sweep your foot through and you go to a sitting position like this. Okay? Again, arm overhead. You notice that your arm moves through different positions as you're doing this in order for it to remain in that upper position. So now I'm on my elbow. This is often referred to, I think, if I've got my terminology correct, the 45 position. And then you are down, then you come down onto your back. So that is because the 45 position is this initial move up to here. From being on your back, you're pushing with your left foot and rolling on. This is a roll more than it is a crunch, rolling onto the right elbow. And then you push into a straight arm position with that right arm. Lift your hips. This is a high bridge. I think it's important to go into this high bridge position because it teaches you this, gives you this nice tripod stability, and you're getting this good glute action. People will, when they're doing this you can do this exercise for time and things like that. When you're doing that, you might just go straight into the kneeling position. Though I think as a training tool, going into this high bridge like this is really important. And then you sweep your leg behind you into, we were in this position before. Remember this kneeling position? From here, trying to drop down and then drive up into the kneeling position. I windshield wiper my rear leg so it's straight, and then I move my front leg. People will do this portion of it a little different, and how they orient their body. They'll do it a little differently, and then stand up. So you can see, well, I hope you can see how, if you're an individual who is maybe has some mobility issues and wants to improve mobility, getting up and down from the ground is an important skill. So starting this, I'm going to switch hands because the arm is tired after all that. So getting up and down from the ground is an important thing to be able to do. And if you struggle with it, and I was talking to someone who was like, wow, I'd really like to be able to roll around on the ground at my age. And so this is starting from a standing position, this is a great way to learn how to do that. So again, arm straight, elbow locked. You want to be pulling the shoulder. You want to be pulling the arm down into the shoulder socket. And then it's called packing the shoulder. And then you step back, in this case with my left foot, into a lunge position. Like you're about to go down to a lunge. A nice big step back. Drop down to a kneeling position. If this is all you can do is this, that's fine. In fact, if all you can do is drop down, maybe you can only go like that deep, that's fine. Stand up and do it again. Because as you get stronger, you will eventually be able to go all the way down to this position, right? And then you rotate this kneeling leg behind you, go down your knee with your arm, and then reach out so that your hand is in line with your knee and your in this, and you want to be looking at the shoe. You want to be looking at it so it doesn't, if it's a shoe, it's not that big a deal, but if it's a heavy weight, you want to be sure that it's not going to drop on your head. Then sweep your leg through into this sitting position. See, in this case, you when you're going down, you miss that high bridge. We just go immediately. See that again? So you could go to this high bridge like this and then down. But the move is much cleaner just going into the sitting position. Then you drop down under your elbow and then back onto your back. Readjust just a little bit. Then push off with that right foot up onto your elbow. Here you go into the high bridge like that. Keeping an eye on your elevated arm. Bring the knee in. Tuck in just a little bit. Windshield wiper that real foot. Bring the right leg in line so it's easy to stand up and stand up. And that there is the basics of the Turkish get-ups. There are details that I have not gone into because once you start thinking about details, you can begin to miss the overarching goal here, which is to go from, in this case, a standing position to a kneeling position, to a sitting position, to a lying down position, and then from a lying down position to a sitting position, to a kneeling position, to a standing position. This is a progression, and you can work on each one of these. You can start from standing and just go to kneeling and up and down. You could start at kneeling and just go to sitting and then up to kneeling, from kneeling to sitting, from sitting to kneeling, and from lying down to sitting to lying down. There's just so many different sort of permutations you can make of this exercise, but this is an excellent one for building. It's a whole body exercise, and when you do it with weight, it requires whole body tension. So you're moving under tension and you're tying your whole body together. I have found that this, at my age demographic, which is I'm 52, is this may be the best exercise to do with weight because it has you move around and get up and down off the ground. Get up and down from the ground, get up from the ground, get back down on the ground. You know what I'm saying? And that the ability to do that and to tie the whole body together and move like that is super important as we get older. It has a strength component. It has a movement component. It has a mobility component. So I think that's one of the reasons why it's one of the best exercises. So that's a little bit about the Getup. It's time for me to go. I want to thank you for being here, and we will see you. Today is Wednesday, so we got a couple more days of the week, and then we got a Saturday session that's typically an hour long. The only thing that might get in the way of that is if we go to a sunny place for the weekend because we have a 4-day weekend. So again, thanks for being here, Instagram viewers, and thanks to YouTubers and Facebook folks for being here. We'll be here tomorrow, 6:30 a.m., 8:30 Eastern a.m., and we'll be doing a full stretching session, a 30-minute stretching session, and not going over an exercise. I like the Wednesday as going over an exercise type of day. So anyways, thanks again, and we'll see you next time. Hope you have a great day. Cheers. Hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you next time. Cheers.